Ladies and gentlemen, it is upon us. Finally, the guaranteed Leonardo event is here inside Raid Shadow Legends. It is quite expensive though, so for most folks it's going to be at least 25 sacreds to get Leonardo. And then on top of that, of course, you can also go for his soul. And you can also go for the Eternal Soulstone down here if you'd like as well. I have been saving for quite some time. I did go for the last fusion though as well, so that definitely did hit my shard count a little bit, unfortunately. But I'm still going to be pulling basically everything for Leonardo. And if my shards alone cannot get me there, then I'm essentially going to start farming energy inside the equivalent of a dungeon divers, essentially, to get it that way. So you can get artifacts and accessories, or you can just summon champions to go ahead and get them. So this is what we're working with here today. We're working with 19 sacreds, 3 primal shards, 7 voids, and 17 ancients. Now, I did enough math to know that I'm going to have to do quite a bit of dungeon divers. That being said, though, we do still have the event going for another 3 days and 4 hours. So obviously, as clan boss resets happen, there's the potential to get, you know, another sacred from there, another void from there, those sorts of things. And if I take a look at my bazaar, I don't recall, but I do actually have a sacred available for purchase here if I could grind out like 10,000 more points, which would be kind of cool. So that's a potential option as well. We'll have to see how it goes, of course. But we're going to go ahead. We're going to start pulling. We're going to start with the ancient shards here, of course. We have rate up selectors that we can do. I will probably do rate up for April just because I don't have her, and it would be pretty cool to have her as well. They did like the April path or whatnot, but I didn't really go for it. There was just, you know, way too much resource cost essentially to really make it worth it, in my opinion. So we had 17 of these, of course. I do actually have a shard tally that I keep track of on my phone as well. So that'll put us, if we don't get a legendary from any of these ancients, it'll put us at 41 ancients since my last legendary, which is kind of cool to know. So, you know, if you're ever trying to pity manipulate, or if you're just trying to save your shards for a specific rate up or something like that, obviously knowing exactly where you're at is kind of crucial to that. Now, I am actually looking for quite a few epics as well, so both void and non-void. So mainly just for empowerment purposes, there's a few epics of note that I wouldn't mind getting. There's no rate up for epics on this one, unfortunately, which means that if you do get epics, it's still kind of just a mishmash of if it'll actually be someone that you want, right? So you can't really try to target farm them, which is unfortunate. Nothing from the ancient shards, of course. Let's go ahead and start popping our voids. Now, this is a very, very good pool of void champions, in all honesty. If you did get April, then you would almost certainly want to go for Shredder here so that you can try to max out and get basically all of them, which would put you at like the 6 champions from the collaboration, right? So then you get the free mythical relic, which would be pretty cool. I'm debating between Riho and Shuzen. I think ideally at the end of the day, Shuzen is going to be the right choice though. So I'll just let you know what my pity is. So if we don't get any legendaries from this, we're going to be at 53 after Void. So I'm definitely not really expecting a legendary from my Void shards, certainly. So we'll see how that goes. Now, Primal shards, the count is definitely getting up there. So it's 37 since I pulled a legendary from my primals, and it's 87 since I pulled a mythical from my primals, which is interesting. So, you know, we're not even halfway there, I guess, technically, all things considered, because it'll be like over 200 summons until we actually get a mythical guaranteed, I believe it is, right? That being said, this is actually my first time recording in a new location as well, so let me know if there's any differences in the audio or anything like that, or if you can even tell. It'd be kind of cool to hear that. So, nothing from the Void Shards, of course. We do have the 3 primals. Again, we're going to go ahead and do rate up for April. This will put us once again at 40 on the Primal Shards without a legendary, and 90 on the Primal Shards without a mythical if we do not pull one. So we're going to go ahead and pull our last Primal Shard and see if we have any luck with it. It'd be nice if this was a mythical, but alas, it is not. Wow, that is shocking. Who could have seen that coming? Now finally, we do have our 19 sacreds to do, so we're going to go ahead and start busting those out as well. Just out of curiosity, I'm already at 16,000 points. We're going to get over 80,000 from the sacreds as well, so that'll be pretty nice. I'm just going to go through these. I'm going to purchase these. I'm going to get the key, and then we'll start heading down the left-hand side here for Leonardo, of course. So go ahead and open up everything that we can here. And we are actually all the way down now to the Essence, the Legendary Book, and then Leonardo himself. So let's go ahead and keep popping some shards here. Of course, like I said, April's on the rate up. We have 19 that we can go ahead and open. I'd be very surprised if we don't get a Legendary within this 19, of course. But, you know, stranger things have happened. If you're curious in terms of the Mercy, I have pulled 10 sacreds since my last Legendary. So it's all but guaranteed that we're going to get a Legendary, of course, unless Plarium just decided to turn them off for my particular account. But let's go ahead, keep pulling some shards here. We're at like 5 or 6 so far. Nothing but epics. We're at 4 so far, actually. I was miscounting there a little bit. It's kind of crazy. It makes sense, I guess, but I was just going to say it's kind of crazy that we don't have any sort of like a 10 pull feature for sacreds yet, though. If you're 10 pulling sacreds, I imagine there's probably bigger questions to be addressed there. But you know, it is what it is, I guess. Like, I've seen some pretty crazy sacred shard opening videos back in the day. Sacred shard opening videos kind of used to be the thing back in the day because sacreds were like super hard to get and whatnot. But now everybody cares about the primal shard openings, right? Because obviously you want to get the newest mythicals and you want to get your Nice and your Galathier and all those sorts of things. Here's a Legendary. What do we get? Bruh. Bruh. Is this another Legendary? No, it is not, unfortunately. I don't even know what else to say to that, man. That's crazy. A Rosin Scarhide? Come on, man. Like, that's ridiculous. That could have been anyone. That could have been like, I don't know, not a Sifi yet. That could have been a Duchess, right? That could have been a Roses. Oh, we get another Legendary, though. Oh, my God, we get a Mountain King. I don't think I actually have a Mountain King yet. So that could be pretty cool. Mountain King, I believe, is new for my account, which is nice. So I will take a new Legendary. If he's new, he'll probably help me out in Faction Wars a little bit. If I end up building him for that, not too exciting, though, just because, you know, it's Mountain King. He did get a rework, though, which is pretty cool. So he is actually a pretty decent champion now. He was never necessarily a bad champion. It's just he kind of fell out of the meta because he's a single target damage dealer. And then Stone Skin entered the meta, and then there was no way for him to really deal with Stone Skin. So, you know, people just kind of forgot all about him, essentially. But if we don't get a Legendary here, this will put us back down to 5 Sacreds without a Legendary. So we're setting ourselves up to get to the pity pretty quickly there as well. I've been saving for quite some time, obviously. We're going to go ahead and go back to the path and see where we're sitting at. So we're at 7,500. We're at 10,000, and then we need 80,000. So I need 11,000 more points, right? Which I will definitely be getting one way or another. We'll have to... It remains to be seen how that'll happen. So obviously, a lot of Dungeon Divers is going to be happening. I'll be spending pretty much all my gems on that. And then, of course, we're hoping for some good luck from the Clan Boss. I think... Yeah, I can still push up inside Doom Tower here as well, which will give me, of course, another Void Shard, and it'll also give me some energy to work with as well. So all things considered, I think we should be able to get Leonardo without too much of an issue. Here's another Ancient Shard, actually, that I'll go ahead and pop real quick as well. But yeah, like I was saying, I think we should be able to get Leonardo without too much of an issue. It's just going to take some time and some patience. Of course, I could start swiping the credit card, or I could start... you know, I don't even know what you do besides that, right? Like, this is just all my resources. But yeah, we're just gonna hold off. Let's check here. So that was new. Mountain King was new. Let's also go ahead and go to the Faction Guardians and see if we can now get another Guardian set up. Okay, so we do already have Rosin in there, so we're getting close to maxed out on the Lizardman, which is kind of cool. And as you can see, this is my 3rd copy of Rosin so far. Ladies and gentlemen, the drop rates are not equal inside Raid Shadow Legends. I'm going to be honest. It's very apparent. I don't know if anyone's actually done official research into it or anything like that. I know, for example, inside Watcher of Realms, Fastidious went ahead and basically just did like mass surveys of what people were pulling to figure out the drop rates, but it's almost like guaranteed that inside Raid Shadow Legends the drop rates are not the same. Like the drop rates are so much lower for something like a Duchess than they are for something like a Rosin, right? Like there's just no way these champions are dropping at even rates, which then calls into question, you know, the 20 and the 25x and all those sorts of things. But maybe that's just a little bit of a conspiracy theory. Let me know what you guys think down below, of course. Thank you for watching to the end of the video. I'll see you next time.